The rules of engagement, that could have been a shoot down. So people need to understand that this is serious business, and the United States is not going to be intimidated.
Gentlemen, and I know you're all gentlemen out there, the kind who've stared down worse than a cold wind off the Baltic, pull up a chair. Grab that favorite armchair that's molded to your shape after all these years. It's story time. Not some fairy tale from the Brothers Grimm. No, sir. This is the real deal. A tale of steel nerves, roaring jets, and the unyielding might of the American Navy. The kind of yarn that reminds us why we fought, why we built this great nation, and why, even in these twilight years, we still get that fire in our bellies when we hear the hum of freedom's engines. Picture this. It's a crisp autumn morning in the year of our Lord, 2024, somewhere in the vast, unforgiving expanse of the Black Sea. The water's like hammered lead under a sky heavy with clouds that look like they've got grudges to settle. Out there, cutting a path straighter than a preacher's word, is the USS Arleigh Burke. No relation to the man, but carrying his fighting spirit all the same. She's an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, boys. 505 feet of American ingenuity, armed to the teeth with Tomahawk missiles, Aegis radar that can spot a gnat at 100 miles, and a crew of 300 souls who've traded their weekends for watch rotations. Captain Harlan Hank Whitaker commands her. Hank's a Virginia boy, 58 years young, with a mustache that could sweep a deck and eyes that have seen more sunrises over hostile horizons than most men see sunsets over their own backyards. Now, Hank's no stranger to tension. Back in the Gulf, he dodged scuds like they were curveballs in the 9th inning. This is the new Cold War, thawed just enough to steam. Russia's been flexing, sending their Su-35 jets, those sleek, snarling beasts with thrust-vectoring engines that make them dance like a drunk Cossack, on routine patrols. Routine, my foot. It's saber-rattling with afterburners. And today, that saber finds itself pointed right at the Burke. It starts innocent enough. The Burke's on a freedom of navigation op, steaming at 20 knots, her radars sweeping the horizon like a hawk eyeing a field mouse. The crew's settled into the rhythm. Chow halls slinging scrambled eggs and black coffee strong enough to strip paint, bosun's mates barking orders that echo like thunder in the steel canyons below deck. Young Ensign Tommy Riley, fresh out of Annapolis, all of 22, with a crew cut and dreams bigger than the Atlantic, is manning the bridge CIC, Combat Information Center. Tommy's got that fire we all remember from our youth, the kind that burns hot before life tempers it to glowing cold. Suddenly, the air crackles. "Bogey, bogey," crackles over the intercom. It's Lieutenant Commander Elena Vasquez, the air warfare officer, her voice steady as Gibraltar but edged with that electric hum you feel before a storm breaks. On the scopes, a blip, fast, low, and mean. A Russian Su-35, call sign Bear 21, barreling in from the east at Mach 1.2, skimming the wave tops like it's late for a Moscow ballet. No IFF, transponder pinging friend or foe, just raw speed and intent. Hank Whitaker's in his sea cabin, nursing a mug of Joe and flipping through a dog-eared copy of Tom Clancy, ironic that, when the klaxon whoops. He bolts for the bridge, boots thudding on grated steel, the ship tilting just a hair as she answers the helm. "Talk to me, Elena," he growls, sliding into the captain's chair like it's an old saddle. "Sir, single contact, bearing 095, 50 miles and closing fast. No comms. He's coming hot." Hank's jaw sets like concrete. He remembers the 80s lads, when we squared off against MiGs over the Med, hearts pounding but hands steady. This ain't new, but it's personal. Russia's playing chicken, testing if Uncle Sam's got the guts to swerve. Sound General Quarters, arm the phalanx, and get me 5th Fleet on the horn. General Quarters hits like a gut punch. Lights flicker red, the ship groans as watertight doors slam. In the magazine, burly machinists' mates like Chief Petty Officer Gus Kowalski. Polish stock, built like a '57 Chevy, with tattoos from ports in 3 oceans, haul powder cans to the guns. Gus is 62, joined up after Korea's Echo faded, fought in Nam's tail end. "This is what we do, boys," he bellows over the din. "We hold the line so your grandkids can grill burgers without saluting a red flag." Up top, the Phalanx CIWS, that close-in weapon system, a Gatling gun on steroids, spins up, its radar locking on like a border collie on sheep. It's the Navy's last-ditch Guardian, spitting 4,500 rounds a minute if anything gets too cozy. And cozy? Oh, Bear 21's about to get intimate. The Russian pilot, we learn later from declassified chatter, is Major Yuri Volkov. Yuri's a Siberian hard case, 45, with frost in his veins and a chip on his shoulder from the 90s collapse. Orders from on high. Buzz the Yankee tin can, make 'em flinch, remind the world Kaliningrad's got teeth. He kicks in the burners, the Su-35's twin AL-41 engines howling like banshees. The jet dives, wings level with the Burke's mast, closing from 50 miles to 5 in under 3 minutes. No radio call, no warning flare. Just the whine of turbines building to a scream. On the bridge, Tommy Riley's palms, sweat the Formica. "Captain, he's at Angel Zero, sea level, 5 miles, 3. Hank leans into the 1MC, the ship's sole wire. "All hands, this is the old man. We've got a hot rod coming in low and fast. Stay sharp, stay calm. Remember, we're the United States Navy. We don't blink." 2 miles. The air vibrates. 1 mile. The Burke's radars paint the Su-35 in high def. Every rivet, every missile pylon. Yuri Volkov's in the cockpit, G-suit hugging him like a lover, hands dancing on the stick. He sees the destroyer's gray bulk rising, the stars and stripes snapping defiant. "For Mother Russia," he mutters, or so the transcripts say. He rolls in, canopy inches from the radar mast, close enough to count the weld seams. But here's where it turns, fellas. Where the "then this happened" kicks in like a mule. See, the Burke ain't just a ship. She's smart, smarter than the eggheads who dreamed her up. That Aegis system, it's got layers. SM-6 missiles for the long game, C-RAM for mid-range, Phalanx for the knife fight. And today, it's all singing in harmony. As Bear 21 crests the wave at 500 knots, skimming 50 feet off the foam, something pings. Not a missile lock. No, Yuri's too sly for that. It's the Burke's electronic warfare suite, the SLQ-32, waking up like a grizzly from hibernation. It floods the Su-35's avionics with noise, jamming every frequency from UHF to satellite link. Yuri's HUD flickers. His threat receiver screams false alarms. "What the?" He barks in Russian, yanking back on the stick. But it gets better, deeper. The real gut twist comes from below. While Yuri's dancing his deadly tango, the Burke's dipping her bow, launching a counter-drone swarm. Wait, no drones here, boys. This is old school with a twist. From her vertical launch cells, silent as a whisper, 2 Nulka decoys leap skyward. Nulkas, Australian-born, Navy-adopted, are like electronic fireflies, towed hovercraft that scream, "I'm the real deal," on radar. They bloom chaff and infrared flares painting a ghost ship a mile off the beam. Yuri bites. His onboard seeker, tuned for a harpoon pop, maybe, snaps to the decoy. For a split second, he thinks he's golden. But the Burke, she's ghosted. Her hull's coated in RAM, radar-absorbent material, that makes her vanish like Brigadoon. The Su-35 thunders past, so close the wash rocks the Burke like a rowboat in a squall. Salt spray from the jet's wake mixes with sea foam, drenching the forward lookout. A young striker named Ramirez, who later jokes it was the closest shave since his dad's straight razor. Yuri overshoots. His jet claws for altitude, but the jammings got his fly-by-wire glitching, spurious inputs making the controls buck like a bronco. Alarms wail in the cockpit. Terrain! Terrain! He's low, too low, and the Black Sea don't forgive mistakes. He pulls up hard, blacking out for 2 Gs, emerging 1,000 feet up with a coastline blurring past. But here's the kicker, the part that'll have you slapping your knee and toasting with whatever's in that tumbler. As he banks away, the Burke's helo deck erupts in activity. 2 MH-60R Seahawks, Romeos we call them, spool up, rotors thumping like war drums. Piloted by Lieutenant Junior Grade Sarah Hawk Harlan, Hank's own niece, 35 and fearless, they lift off loaded for bear. Hellfire missiles, sonobuoys, and Penguin anti-ship slugs. Yuri's fleeing now, afterburners lit. But the Romeos are faster climbers. They shadow him 10 miles back, pinging his tail with Link 16 data bursts that light up every NATO asset from Bucharest to Bahrain. Bear 21, this is Seahawk 11. Sarah's voice crackles over guard frequency, cool as iced tea on a July porch. You are in violation of ICAO regs. RTB immediately or we will enforce. Yuri's sweating now, Siberian steel melting under American resolve. He jinks left, right, but the Romeos stick like burrs on wool. One dips low, sonar dipping into the soup for any subby friends Yuri might have. So, what happened then? The buzz faded into headlines, CNN calling it tense encounter, Fox hailing Navy triumph. Diplomatic cables flew, admirals jawboned in Brussels. No shots fired, no blood spilled, but a line drawn, red as the banners they fear. The Burke sailed on, her crew wiser, tighter. Hank Whitaker added a notch to his sea stories, shared over steaks at the O Club in Norfolk. Gus retired a year later, pin on his chest, gleaming, telling grandkids, I made the ghosts dance. For you, out there in the heartland, whether it's a cabin in Montana or a condo in Florida, this is your legacy. The jets that buzz too close, they still do in new skins. But so long as there are ships like the Burke, captains like Hank, and echoes of your service in every hatchdog, we'll hold. Raise a glass, gents, to the watchstanders, the whistleblowers, the ones who buzz back with thunder. Fair winds and following seas. Until next time.